Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. Getting ripped off. Guys are going to try to get over you while you're locked up. Some ingenious ways the guys are going to try to get over you while you're in jail or while you're in prison. Dope fiend larceny. That's what we call it. Dope fiend larceny is that larceny that comes with somebody that is just used to getting over on somebody every day. You've ever dealt with a dope fiend or somebody that's dealing with an addiction, and how they can always come up with a good reason on why you should loan them $40? It ain't ever $5. It ain't $10. Always $40. They always got a reason. That's that dope fiend larceny. I need to get the baby some diapers. I just gave you diaper money yesterday. I left them on the trunk of the car and they fell off. You're going to hear a lot of different reasons for why people need things, why people want things, and it's usually larceny. Getting ripped off is a bad feeling, and it's even worse for the person that did it once the man that got ripped off finds out about it. I was thinking on this topic. I got a bunch of different situations that come to mind when it comes to getting ripped off in prison. Different things I've seen done, different things I've seen happen. But some of them stood out. Some of these things are ingenious. And today I'm going to share those things with y'all. Y'all not going to believe some of the things I'm going to tell y'all. But it's the reality of the situation. And way beyond relevant when it comes to today's stories. So without further ado, let's get into getting ripped off while locked up. You know I done seen it. You know I done lived it. So let's relive it. So with today's stories, we're going to revisit some of the guys I've talked about. Because ironically enough, they play right into what we got to talk about today. Now you need to understand this. Summertime in the penitentiary and summertime in the streets have a couple things in common. In the streets, you turn up. There's more to do. More people moving around. In the penitentiary in the summertime, you turn up. There's more to do. More people moving around. But also, with that comes more violence. You know how in the city in the summertime, shootings get at an all-time high, record high when summertime comes around. Because more people are out and about and because it's hot. Nobody got time for all that BS. It's 103 degrees outside. Now imagine being in a prison where it's 108 degrees inside. I've seen it get up to 114. They used to have a thermometer on the wall above the phones next to the clock. And I've seen it get to 114 inside the pod. When it gets that hot, like I said, your level for stupidity, your tolerance, it's not very high. The smallest things set men off. You're sitting there, you're sweating, you're sticky, because out here on the East Coast, we got a different type of heat. Out here, there's a lot of humidity, so you stick. It's not like your sweat's supposed to cool you down. Out here, when you sweat, the sweat just sticks to you. It runs and then it just dries up and you feel all icky. My homeboy Big T, good dude from what I knew of him in prison. I knew that Big T was never going home. Big T caught a body in Richmond, killed another boy with a 12 gauge. Said he had one of them short 12 gauge, like one of them little riot pumps. Ended up killing somebody out here in the streets. Why anybody would ever try Big T? His name is Big T. This ain't one of these parodies where they give the little guy the big name. They called him Big T because he was a big dude. Big light-skinned dude. Kept his hair kind of faded, short on the top. Black man. T had to have been maybe 6'2", somewhere in there. Way over 6, so at least 6'2". Probably 260, 270. Big man. Came to prison big. You look at him, he's one of them dudes, you could tell he was big as a teenager. You could tell that when he was out on the streets hustling, he wasn't just the average dude on a block that you would run up and do something to. T's one of them dudes, you could see him from a distance. One of the best store-box guys I ever met. T could hustle, man, and he kept money, kept his hands in something. If something exclusive, something he shouldn't be touching came around, T was going to grab a hold of it and sit on it. When I mean sit on it, that means he's going to wait till everybody else runs out and sell you the same stuff but less of it and for more money, because ain't no more going around and you need it. With T being the store box man, everybody dealt with T. If you ran short on something and y'all were making a meal, you needed some cheese, a tuna, a summer sausage, a pickle, some soups, some chips, some crackers, some sodas to go with that meal, go see Big T. T's going to give you the best deal. He ain't going to 2 for 4 you. He'll 2 for 3 you. And if he mess with you, like me and T were real cool, we might say, you know what, take the 2 sodas, man, and just bring me 2 sodas in a soup bag. So I like T. Most times I had my own thing, but there were times where, you know, you run short. You might got some money here, some money there. You might have gambled, shot some dice, played some poker, and messed your money up. T didn't gamble a lot, but when T did gamble, he won. House wins. You know that. T would run the poker game. And T also, his money was longer than everybody else's. So if you get to the point where you're losing, and you ain't got no money to get back in the game, you're done. Once your money runs out, you run out. T's money wouldn't run out. Middle of the summer, come out my cell, and we go to chow that morning. We come back, it's a weekend, and T and them crank the poker game up. I've watched guys have poker games that last days, and I've seen them last from morning until we lock down, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. As soon as we come back from breakfast, man, I see the guys, they're out there at the table. We got several tables. Sometimes it'd be up to 4 tables with guys playing poker. But T and them are playing poker. They start off that morning. We go to rec. I come back in from rec at 10:30. T and them still playing poker. They tell us, 15 minutes till count. Everybody prepare to lock down. Go in for count. We lock down for count. Come out for lunch. Boom, they go right back to the poker table. All day long they're playing poker. The same 4 guys. Come that night, T done clean shop. T's got a big ass bag, and he's got dudes coming to his cell dropping off the money they owe him, which is commissary, cigarettes, Black and Milds. He preferred cigarettes and Black and Milds because that's good money in prison. When a pack of cigarettes is $6 at the time, if somebody owes you some money, you owe somebody some money, cigarettes is an easy way to, pay them, opposed to paying them with food. $100 worth of food is a lot of stuff to move from one pod to the next or one building to the next, when you can just get 2 boxes of cigarettes, shove them in the front of your pants, and be done with it. That night rolls around, T's done clean shop. T to beat everybody out their money. I see these 3 dudes, they going up there paying him. A couple days goes by. I ain't heard nothing about it. Wouldn't expect to hear nothing about it. You see people play poker all the time. I see T come out of his cell, and one by one, I don't know what he's doing because he's not drawing no heat, but he goes to all 3 cells of the dudes that he was playing poker with. Something's going on. Something's wrong with the money. He counted all the money. They counted the money right in front of him, made sure it was all there. What could possibly be wrong? Like I told you, T's a store box man. You run out of cigarettes, and as a cigarette smoker, you know this to be true if you smoke cigarettes. If they're available, you're going to get them. You ain't going to just sit around and be like, well, I don't go to commissary till next Tuesday. It's now Wednesday. I can go 6 days without a cigarette. Dudes ain't doing that. They're going to go to the store box guy. They're going to get them cigarettes. Somebody goes to T and gets some cigarettes, takes their pack, peels the top off, opens it. Pack of cigarettes is full of Q-tips. Somebody's done took this pack of cigarettes, cut the bottom of it, and they were soft pack. It's all they sold. Cut the bottom of it with a razor, popped all the cigarettes out the bottom of the pack, took Q-tips, shoved them in there until it felt like a pack of cigarettes, and put a little tiny piece of tape that you couldn't notice on the bottom of the pack of cigarettes. T's done had a bunch of dudes bring these cigarettes back. Hey, man, I know this ain't on you because you're a businessman. You wouldn't do things like this. But them cigarettes you gave me had Q-tips in them. What you mean they had Q-tips in them? They had Q-tips in them. Now, he was an organized dude. He was a dude that knew where everything was. He'd been in prison a long time, since the 90s. Never going home. He's there forever. He moved like a convict, conducted himself like a convict. Wasn't into ripping nobody off or doing nothing like that. So he'd make it straight with the dude. You sure? Like, don't let me find out you took cigarettes out and put some Q-tips in there. You trying to come get me. Because I'm going to find out who gave me these dummy packs of cigarettes, right? So T went to the cells of all three of these dudes, right? I questioned them about it. All three of them, nah, hell nah. You must have got them to somebody else. T's like, nah, man. Because everything I collected that night, I sat in a bag and I put it underneath my bunk. And when somebody asked me for some cigarettes, instead of digging in my locker, I just pulled the bag out and grabbed the packs out the bag and gave them. So this ain't no, I got them from somebody else. I got them from one of the three of y'all. Maybe y'all didn't know when somebody else gave them to you. Did you buy your cigarettes off commissary? Everybody, yeah. Well, there's one dude that's like, well, I did get some cigarettes off the yard from somebody. He's like, well, you might want to push up on that person and make sure that what they gave you was supposed to be what it was, because I got a whole bunch. I think he had like 6 packs of Q-tips. No Newports. These are Q-tips. Dude says, all right, I'm going to holler at dude and, see what's up with him. T said, who is it, man? Like, who is it? He tells him, man, it's dude over in the 8 building. Like, I've dealt with him a bunch of times, man. He wouldn't do no dumb shit like that. T said, all right, that's what it is, man. Well, holler at your homeboy and find out. T knows exactly who he's talking about. Holler at your homeboy and find out if he gave you them dumb packs of cigarettes, because somebody's got to wear this ass whooping and give me my cigarettes, right? A couple days later, T's back out there playing poker. Wins again. Everybody brings him his stuff. This time, he's inspecting the packs of cigarettes, checking them, making sure they ain't open. He's checking food and everything. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We don't hear nothing about it. Come out one morning, go to chow, come back from chow, and I got to go to work. This is a weekday, so I got to go do maintenance throughout the prison. I'm in my cell, and I hear all this commotion, and I look over, and T is 4 cells down from his cell, and he's in the cell with the dude that said he had got some cigarettes off the yard. And T is pretty much, it's like watching a grown man with the size of T fight a 12-year-old. T is punching this guy, got him bent over, kneeing him, picking him up, slamming him off walls, slamming him off the counter, slamming him off the floor, doing whatever he wants to him. This man ain't but maybe 165, 175 pounds. You got Big T, who's every bit of 8 inches taller than him, got him by 100 pounds, doesn't care, been in there a long time, man that works off principles. T ran into the dude that supposedly gave the guy the cigarettes, had a conversation with him. Said, your homeboy, man, I think he's responsible for giving me some cigarettes that had Q-tips in them. Wasn't no cigarettes in the packs. The dude said, well, what's that got to do with me? Well, he said he had got some cigarettes from you off the yard, and that he hollered at you, and you said you didn't know nothing about it. The dude said, what are you talking about? He said he got some cigarettes from you off the yard. And he didn't think you would do nothing like that, but he was going to check with you. He's like, T, I ain't gave that guy no cigarettes, man. I ain't gave him nothing. Blink, blink, blink. That's that dope fiend larceny. There's the light bulb. Why did he lie about getting cigarettes from somebody else? The other guys could produce commissary slips to show, look, I ordered my cigarettes off commissary. Wouldn't make no sense. I ordered cigarettes for me to give you cigarettes and Q-tips in them, unless I want some grimy stuff. This dude says he didn't order his. He got them off the yard. T goes straight past him and goes to the guy that he's supposed to got him from. The guy denied everything. Nah. Never gave him no cigarettes. Nah. Ain't done no business with him. I don't know why he would lie to you and tell you he got something from me and he never did. There ain't but one reason he would lie. A, because he did it. And B, to try to cover his ass and shift the blame somewhere else, so that if it did come back that he was exposed and somebody somehow found out that he did it, he could be like, oh, wait a minute, I got those from that guy. T beat the shit out of that boy. Went right back in his cell and right back to normal operations. Right back to playing poker. Right back to store boxing. Dude hit up in the cell for a couple weeks till some of the lumps and knots disappeared. T was a smart dude, man. T actually went down to the boy's cell after he beat him up and took him a bag of commissary. Probably thinking, why would you take a man that just ripped you off anything? That man, if anything, he owes you money. T couldn't take the risk of the guards finding out what he had done to him by him going to chow because he was hungry, or him coming out of his cell to borrow something from somebody because he was hungry. He damn sure can't go to chow. As soon as he walked through that door to chow, with all those knots all over his face and T's big ass knuckle marks on the side of his forehead, they're going to pull him out, start running the cameras back, and trying to figure out what happened, right? T fed the boy till he healed up and then made him pay out his ass. Put a whole bunch of tax on top of them cigarettes. Punished him for what he did. He tricked T, but he couldn't beat him. That's that dope fiend larceny getting ripped off while locked up. Let's get into the next one. Now, there's not a lot of trust going around. It's just not happening, not in the system. But if you're into anything, you're doing anything, I don't know what you would call it, but you're going to have to deal with people. Maybe we'll call it good faith. Prison is not full of people because, well, the world's just full of good guys. Everybody in there, whether innocent or guilty, has been convicted in the court of law, has been said to commit some crime out here in the streets, and that's why they're there. You got to be careful who you deal with when it comes to any type of business in there. Most people are out for themselves. It's a dog-eat-dog world. And where there's an opportunity to get over, somebody's going to take it. Dude's Spare. We call him Spare. His last name's Sperry, but everybody just called him Spare. First glimpse of him, you would think he's your average street dude. All the stories he told of him hustling, the gunplay, the robberies, the things he did in the streets will lead you to believe he's a straight street dude, straight shooter. You know what I mean? Like he was a real dude in the streets. I peeped it. Means I saw. I think before most people did, because my homeboy Spider was in the cell with him. And I was down there talking to Spider one day, and I did a story on Spider early on in this YouTube thing. And I'm down there talking to Spider, and I see Spare sitting on the top bunk, and Spare's nodding. And as I'm talking to Spider, I keep glancing up at him. I'm like, man, this man's high on dope. I ain't say that, but I see it. Penitentiary, you see it every day. There's so much dope going around, so much heroin, that there is no chance that you're going to go to penitentiary and not see somebody do dope, not at some point, if you got time, end up in the cell with somebody that's got a dope habit. You see guys on the rec yard doing it. You see guys walking around like zombies from doing it. You see guys sitting out on the benches in the pod slump from doing it. Like, you're going to see it. So I noticed Spare sitting on the top bunk, and he's nodding in and out. Then he looks over. Hey, yo, what up, Jay? Does the itch. Let's go with you. I'm like, what's up, Spare? I don't say nothing to Spider about it because that's his cellmate. He knows. They live in a cell together. He knows what his cellmate is doing. The crazy part is, Spare's linked in real close with most of the dope boys in our pod. He's got a job that allows him to get outside the building. I had done the same thing at one point. I was what you call a runner. I could get from point A to point B with things, and other people could only be in point A and never touch point B. So I would move stuff from here to there for people and make my money like that. Spare was the same way. He could get outside the building, get into other buildings, had some leeway with the officers, so he was able to move around. I remember thinking that night, like, damn, this dude, I know they're either paying him to move this stuff or they're breaking him off, which means we can pay you or we can give you some dope in return for moving these packs for us. I remember sitting there thinking that night, damn, this dude was getting high. I never would have guessed he was getting high. I had a bunch of conversations with him, kicked it out in the day room with him a bunch of times. I talked to him on the yard. Like, we've been in the same pod for a while now. Damn, I didn't know this dude was getting high. That's crazy. And you didn't really see, for the most part, a lot of black dudes doing dope. That was more of a white dude thing. Hate it or love it, those are just the facts. That's what it was. It was more white dudes doing heroin than anybody else. Which used to also blow my mind, because these same dudes that claim to be like part of these little racist organizations or these white boy only cliques would say that amongst themselves, but then be chasing the drug dealers down to buy from. I noticed Spare's high Don't say nothing about it. Don't think no more about it. Going about my business. I got a cellmate at the time that gets high. My cellmate was one of them guys that he shot up. That was his thing. I remember he's sitting there one night, and I couldn't watch that shit. I hated having it around me. I hated having it in my presence. I have a phobia of needles. I know it's crazy with all the tattoos. But I remember he did what he was going to do. And when he was done, he was like, and I've heard this from other guys in the past, that if something's cut with something, you can taste it. And he was like, kept doing that. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? He's like, I can't figure out. I shit almost tastes burnt. He's like, it tastes like almonds. I'm like, what tastes like almonds? You didn't eat nothing. You know what I mean? Like, how you tasting almonds? You ain't ate nothing. He's like, that dope I just did, I just spiked, tastes like almonds, man. I said, that's crazy. How you gonna taste something because you just put it in your vein? Apparently this is true. Other guys start to say it. My cellmate afterwards is like, man, that shit was straight garbage, man. Like, I gotta holler at dude, like, this shit is garbage. He pushes up on Spare and says, hey, man, I don't know what you gave me, but that shit was garbage. Spare's like, look, I just give it to you like I get it. Now, people have an idea of where he's getting it from, but these dudes don't want to get caught. They want to stay low-key. That's why they have runners, to keep themselves off the map. And then when the runner's done, the runner either brings the money back to him, or the money is taking place on the streets and is going to his people. But you can't go say nothing to them dudes, because they didn't give you nothing. You didn't get nothing from them. The first thing they're going to tell you is, man, y'all ain't give you nothing. Don't ever push up on me again about some shit that you got from somebody else that ain't got nothing to do with me, right? Well, now word is out. Everything that Spare is giving people has got this almond taste to it, and dudes aren't really getting high. But you got old Sperry over there nodding, scratching, itching. Now it's starting to become more apparent to everybody that Sperry's getting high. Everybody's starting to see it. He's not just sitting in his cell on his bunk no more. He's trying to move like he thinks he can move like he moves every day. Except the difference is now everybody sees that, you know, Sperry's getting high, man. I know I just seen him on the rec yard lean back on the fence, nodded all the way out for a good 2-3 minutes. Dudes that are giving Sperry the pack to go sell, that are breaking it down. Now you got to think, they're not just giving him a chunk of dope. No, sir. They sit in there and they package it up themselves, wrap this up, mark it a certain way, write a number on it. So Sperry knows what he's got. All right, this is a 40 piece. This is a 100 piece. This is a 150 piece. All right, these are 50 pieces. I can get 3 for 120. Word makes it back to these dudes that, hey, man, we're going to try to start copping out the other building because the shit y'all got in here is garbage, man. This shit tastes like almonds. Dudes ain't really getting high off of it. To us, it looks like the only person here getting high is Sperry. They say something to Sperry about it. Sperry tells them, nah, I ain't done nothing. What y'all, the hell would I get almonds from? Like, almonds, that shit don't even sound right, man. These dudes are just trying to get something free. Anything y'all give me, I don't touch it. I give it to them just like they get it. And y'all give me what y'all give me for doing it, right? They go along with it, right? Something happens between Sperry and Spider. I don't know what happened in the cell, but Spider didn't want to. I don't know if it was because so many dudes are coming back to the cell, like ready to beef with Sperry because they spending all this money and they're not getting what they're supposed to be. And these dudes in prison, there's a stigma that if you're a drug addict, you're automatically all frail, or you got long hair, or you're a hippie, or you look dirty. That's not the case. A lot of these dudes, they get high here and there, but they can't get high all the time, so they're still in good shape. A lot of these dudes are violent. A lot of these dudes got bodies, murder charges, ain't never going home. So just because they got a drug addiction don't mean they're weak. They're still a big men, strong men, violent men. That drug addiction shit don't mean nothing except that you've done something to piss them off and you get yourself hurt. For whatever reason, Spider moves out the cell, man. I never asked him why. I didn't question it. Didn't seem like a good situation. He moves into another cell with another Richmond dude. Leaves Sperry in there. Sperry gets a new cellmate. Same thing continues to go on. It's been months now. Dudes are starting to buy out the other building and not buying out of our pod and out of our building no more because everything that Sperry's selling is garbage. Sperry's at the point now where he's got all this dope that he's supposed to be selling, but it's garbage. Nobody will take it. So the dudes tell him, bring the dope back. He's had it now for days. Same way that they packaged it. Bring the dope back, man. We'll sell it. We got people that need it. Ain't nobody buying it from you. We'll sell it. Bring it back to us so we can get up off of it. All right. He stalls. Hey, man, stop bullshitting. Go get the dope. He stalls. Keeps trying to stop and talk to people. As I hear all this, in my mind, I'm thinking, damn, he done did all these boys dope. Like, he ain't got no dope to give them back. He goes and gets what he's supposed to have, takes it back up to him. They sell a little bit of it. People start complaining. Man, this shit ain't like the shit that, you know what I mean? He's got other runners now, and the other runners are selling shit that's fire, missiles. It's knocking people down, laying people down, people ODing. Shit Sperry's, selling tastes like almonds and ain't getting nobody high. The dope boys that got the pack back from him, they pushing it out, and dudes are bringing it back like, look, taste this shit, man. You can just taste it and tell it ain't right. Dude. Does taste like almonds. They end up running down on Sperry. Bunch of them, 3, 4 of them. They get in the cell with Sperry. Start shaking the cell down. I'm talking about they're going through all his stuff and they're looking like, where's our, they done beat Sperry up. Sperry's, back on the bunk, sitting back in the corner. They didn't came in and beat him up right from the gate. They beat him up. They start going through everything that's his and shut the cell door. And they're in his cell like the police, shaking down, looking through his shit, going through everything. They dump out an envelope box, and when they do, on the holiday packs, at certain times of the year, I think it's like quarterly, 4 times a year, we get this cappuccino mix that comes in. Cocoa flavored. One's mocha, one's like vanilla, and the third flavor was almond amaretto. Looks just like dope. Sperry had been doing, he would take the drugs they were giving him, he would do half of them, and then replace it with this powdered almond amaretto cappuccino mix back into the little fold and fold it up. They found a whole bunch of little empty dope wrappers inside the envelope box where his envelopes went. All this powder in there that was identical to what they just tasted in their cell. And holiday packs hadn't been around in about 3 months. So there wouldn't be any reason why Sperry had a half-open thing of almond amaretto cappuccino mix. They ended up fucking Sperry up again, making him roll his shit up and get up out of there. There's no way he could, because if you say, hey, look, if you got bad dope, come holler at me, I'm gonna fix it. Every single guy that's ever bought dope from you, I don't care if they OD'd 3 times off the $50 they spent, they can be like, hey, mama's bad too, come on, give me some. So they couldn't straighten it. They just told dudes, look, to the dudes that did come complain, I'll look out for you and give you a little more next time. That's what happens when you think your ass is slicking to somebody. They messed Sperry up in that cell, man. And I was surprised that they actually did it and didn't send somebody else, because they all tried to, stay below the radar. But sometimes you got to send a message. You don't send somebody else to do something when you're the one that really needs to do it. When you want to get your message across, nothing comes across louder than you actually putting the work in. I seen more dope and drugs in Greensville than I ever saw out here. I don't kick it with dudes out here that do dope. I don't kick it out here with dudes that have heroin addictions. If I hire somebody to find out about it, you got to go. Get away from me. Get away from my guys. But in there, whether you like it or not, you're going to witness it. You're going to deal with it. It's going to cross paths with you. And that's just that world. Penitentiary is not somewhere you want to try to rip somebody off. What happens in the dark will come to light. It will come to fight. If you're going to do business, conduct yourself in a manner that you should. In there, the only thing you have is your word. Your word in prison is everything. It's like a credit score out here in the world. You slowly build it up. And over time, you can either be that guy that's got bad credit or be that guy that's got an 800 score. Having an 800 score is going to open a lot of doors for you. Means a lot of dudes are going to deal with you. Being that guy with bad credit means you're bad money. You're larceny. Ain't nobody touching you. For anybody watching this that knows Big T or talks to Big T, I talked to Banky, I think, last week. Banky knows Big T. Me and Banky had a good conversation. Shout out to Banky Pound. If y'all ain't subscribed to Banky Pound, go check out Banky Pound. Banky knows Big T. Banky knows pretty much all the dudes I know. We laughed and kicked it for a while, man. It was good to talk to somebody that I can relate to and somebody that, you know, knows the things that I know, knows the people I know. But for anybody that knows Big T, man, that's still in touch with him, Big T from Richmond, been locked up since the 90s. I described him. It ain't but one. Tell him Jay said what's up, man. I hope he's holding his head up. If he needs anything, please reach out to me, and I got him. I don't know his full name, so there's no way I could reach out to him. But anyways, like I've told y'all, stay free. If you have any type of a substance abuse problem, drug problem, seek help. And remember, you don't always need help. The help is already there. You are the help. It all stops when you decide to stop. It started when you decided to start. Let today be the day that you take control of your life. Take back power. Wake up feeling well today, not wake up having to go get well. Anyways, these detention centers, these jails, these prisons, these facilities, they're all just crazy worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones out there, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute. Happy Monday.